At first glance, it looks like a flying marshmallow. A tiny white puff with a long tail, round dark eyes, and a face so smooth it barely looks like feathers. It can seem too perfect to be real. That soft look hides a hard life. This bird lives where winter is long, the air is dry and cold, and food can become scarce fast. It survives by staying efficient, small movements, smart shelter, quick feeding, and strong teamwork when it matters. It's called the Shima Enaga, a Hokkaido form of the long-tailed tit. Its snow fairy look made it famous, but the real story is how a bird this small keeps going through months of snow. Where do Shima Enaga live? Shima Enaga are closely tied to Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost main island. That's where the famous white-faced snow fairy look is associated most strongly, because Shima Enaga is a local form of the long-tailed tit found there. They stay in places with plenty of trees and a strong shrub layer. Mixed and deciduous woodland, wooded edges, and parks with dense branches can all work. The key is structure. Lots of twigs, leaves, and bark surfaces for foraging, plus cover from wind and predators. This bird does not depend on wide open ground. It's built for moving through branches. In winter, that matters even more, because trees offer shelter and a steady supply of tiny food sources hidden in bark. So the best way to picture their home is simple: northern forests, branch networks, and enough cover to move and feed without being exposed for too long. Why does Shima Enaga look like a marshmallow? That round, fluffy look is mostly feathers doing their job. Small birds lose heat quickly, especially in cold, windy conditions. To reduce that heat loss, they puff up their feathers and trap warm air close to the skin. When Shima Enaga fluffs up, it changes shape. The body looks larger and rounder, while the legs and feet stay mostly hidden. The effect is a soft white ball with a tail. Exactly the marshmallow look people recognize. The face adds to it. Shima Enaga's head can appear very clean and pale, with minimal dark markings compared to many other long-tailed tit forms. This look is not constant. When the bird is active and moving fast, feathers can sit closer to the body, and the shape looks less round. So the marshmallow look is basically visible insulation. It's what warmth looks like on a tiny body. Why is Shima Enaga's face so clean and white? The Shima Enaga look is famous for one reason. The face can look almost pure white, like a smooth snowball with eyes. That's a regional trait tied to the Hokkaido form of the long-tailed tit, which is part of a larger species with many different subspecies and appearances across its range. In other regions, long-tailed tits often have stronger dark head stripes or eyebrow lines. In the Hokkaido form, those markings can be reduced, making the face look much cleaner. This doesn't mean every individual looks identical. Feather wear, light, and age can change how strong the markings look, but the general pattern is consistent. Hokkaido's Shima Enaga is known for a pale head that looks especially striking in winter. That clean face also helps explain why the bird looks unreal in snowy forests. White on white reduces contrast, so the eyes and tiny beak stand out even more. What does Shima Enaga eat, especially in winter? Shima Enaga are mostly insect eaters. Across the long-tailed tit group, the diet is strongly focused on arthropods, especially small insects and spiders, with a known preference for eggs and larvae when available. In warmer seasons, that can mean caterpillars, larvae, and other small insects gathered from leaves, twigs, and bark. The bird forages by moving through branches and picking tiny items from surfaces. Winter makes everything harder. Many insects vanish from view, but not all food disappears. Egg clusters, dormant larvae, and spiders can still be found in sheltered cracks and branch junctions. Long-tailed tits can also take some plant material, like seeds, especially in colder months. Because the bird is small, it can't store much energy. That's why feeding isn't a quick stop. It's a near-constant task. The goal is simple: find enough tiny calories to keep a tiny furnace running in freezing air. Do Shima Enaga live alone or in groups? Outside the breeding season, long-tailed tits are known for being social foragers, often moving through woods in small groups. That group life is part of what makes them easier to notice. Multiple birds moving quickly through the same branches. Shima Enaga follows that general pattern. In cold conditions, a group has advantages. More eyes can spot danger. More birds searching can find scattered food faster. And in harsh weather, staying near others can reduce risk, especially during rest periods. During breeding season, the focus shifts toward pairing and nesting. Birds become more tied to a specific area and nest site. Even then, long-tailed tits are known for cooperative behavior in some contexts, where extra birds may help feed chicks depending on local conditions. So the simple picture is, winter often looks like flocks, spring looks more like pairs and nests, and social behavior stays important in different ways. Why do Shima Enaga move in such quick, acrobatic ways? This bird forages like a little gymnast. Quick hops, short flights, hanging under branches, sudden direction changes. That style isn't random. It matches the kind of food it targets. When your meals are tiny and spread across thousands of twigs, you need speed and precision. A slow, heavy approach doesn't work. The bird checks surfaces fast, then moves on. A long tail helps here. It acts like a balance tool when the bird shifts weight or reaches under a branch. It's not just decoration. It helps the bird stay stable during awkward positions. The movements are also energy-aware. Shima Enaga tends to use short, efficient hops and brief flights instead of long, costly flights. In winter, wasting energy can be dangerous. This is why the bird can look busy all day. For a small insect eater in a cold place, constant searching is normal. The acrobatics are simply the most efficient way to cover a forest of food hiding spots. How does Shima Enaga build that softball nest? The long-tailed tit nest is famous. A compact, flexible structure that looks like a small pouch or oval ball with a small entrance. The materials are practical and surprisingly complex. A commonly described recipe includes moss and lichen on the outside for camouflage, plus spider silk or web material to bind everything together and allow the nest to stretch as chicks grow. Inside, it's lined with a large number of feathers for insulation. The camouflage matters. Lichen on the outer surface helps the nest blend into branches. The insulation matters even more in cool climates. Feathers create a warm interior that protects eggs and chicks from cold air and sudden temperature drops. Clutch size can vary by conditions and region, but long-tailed tits are often described as laying a relatively large clutch, commonly in the high single digits to low teens. It's best treated as a typical range rather than a fixed number. So the softball nest isn't just cute. It's an insulated, flexible survival chamber built from forest materials. How do Shima Enaga survive winter nights? Daytime cold is one problem. Nighttime cold is another. At night, feeding stops, but heat loss continues. The first defense is insulation. Fluffed feathers trap air and slow heat loss. The second defense is shelter choice. Dense branches, shrubs, and protected spots reduce wind exposure. Wind can strip heat fast, so blocking it matters. Social behavior can help as well. Many small birds reduce heat loss by roosting close to others. Sharing a tight space reduces exposed surface area and helps maintain warmth. How tightly birds roost can vary with weather, but the principle is consistent across many small cold weather birds. The last defense is preparation, feeding enough during the day to make it through the night. Long-tailed tits are insect-focused, so the day is a race to collect enough energy before darkness. Winter survival here isn't dramatic. It's strict budgeting. Warmth is earned during daylight, protected at night, and repeated for months. Is Shima Enaga a real species or just a cute name? Shima Enaga is a real bird with a real biological identity, but it's usually discussed as a local form or subspecies of the long-tailed tit, not as a completely separate species. The long-tailed tit has many recognized subspecies across a huge range, and appearance can vary a lot between regions. Some populations have bold head stripes, others have paler heads. The Hokkaido form is especially known for the clean white-faced look. That's why you can see long-tailed tit photos online that look similar but not identical. Same broad species, different regional looks. This matters because it explains two things at once. Shima Enaga isn't a fantasy bird. It's part of a well-documented species group. The marshmallow look is genuinely distinctive in Hokkaido, even within that larger family. So Shima Enaga isn't just a nickname. It points to a real regional form that has become iconic because of its appearance. Is Shima Enaga endangered or doing okay? The long-tailed tit as a species is generally listed as least concern because it has a very large range and a very large population overall. That doesn't mean every local population is equally safe, but it suggests the species isn't currently close to global extinction thresholds. For the Hokkaido Shima Enaga, long-term safety depends on the same basics that matter to many woodland insect-eating birds: healthy forests, stable food webs, and seasons that don't swing too wildly. If insect availability drops or forests lose structure, fewer shrubs, fewer branch networks, daily feeding becomes harder, and winter becomes more punishing. Because Shima Enaga is closely tied to one region, it doesn't have endless options if local conditions change quickly. A bird that thrives in a specific forest system can be sensitive to rapid ecosystem shifts. So the calm answer is not rare and doomed, but still dependent on habitat quality and stable ecology, especially in a place where winter already pushes survival close to the edge. Shima Enaga looks like a soft snowball, but it survives through careful design, feather insulation, non-stop foraging, smart shelter, and social behavior when conditions get harsh. It's a gentle-looking bird built for a demanding place. Here's the choice I want your opinion on. If you could witness only one thing, would you choose a winter flock moving through snowy branches or a spring nest hidden in lichen and feathers? Pick one and tell me why. If you want to learn more about animals, please like this video and subscribe.